What's up, fam? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is your review of Real Housewives of Dallas, Season 3, Episode 2. It's a little late, but we got it. It's here. Um, we start the episode off where we left off last week, where, excuse me, we're at Leanne's, not Leanne, Deandra's anniversary party, and Deandra decides that she is going to have a wedding and sort of force Leanne and her fiance to get married there. Like, they're prepared to have the ceremony, and of course, Leanne is like, "What the hell?" But like in the back of her mind, she's sort of happy, but her fiance is like choking on his water, like, what the hell is going on here? And the problem is, like, Deandra said, she was like, look, they've been engaged for a year and ain't even set a date yet. Like, something is wrong, and I just feel like I need to give them a little push. So Deandra's husband gets on the mic, and he like, look, I ain't had nothing to do with this, bruh. This all on them. And, his fiance looks at Leanne like, y'all, please tell me you didn't have nothing to do with this. And she said, nope, I didn't. And she didn't. This time Leanne is innocent. She ain't had nothing to do with it. But they just laugh it off, and they keep it moving. And we see Leanne and Stephanie having a really good conversation. And they're really bonding. They're bonding over some sad shit, but they're bonding. And Stephanie, which I find something interesting that Stephanie's talking about. She's saying how when she drinks too much, she gets really depressed. But for the last 2 seasons, we have seen her and Brandy drink until they ass is silly. So I don't think she has a drinking problem. That's not what I'm saying. But I just find it interesting that after you drink like that, then, she said, I can be depressed for 2 or 3 days sometime. And I'm just like, that's really weird. And then her and Leanne started talking about suicide. Leanne has been very open that she has tried to commit suicide on more than one occasion in her life, and that, she's been through some rough things in her life. And Stephanie lets us know that at one point in her life, she did try to commit suicide as well, that she had a really bad breakup. She said that she lost a lot of her friends in the breakup, and she just felt alone and felt like she just didn't have anybody at that moment, and that it was just a really bad moment for her, and she took some pills. But she really quickly regretted it because she immediately went down and told her mother what she had done so that she could get help. So I don't think it was, we feel that way for a moment, but then as soon as it happens, it's like, oh shit, like I really didn't mean to do it. And so they sort of bond on that, and they're drinking and everything. And then next thing you know, Brandy shows up. Now remember, Brandy said she wasn't coming to Deandra's party because she was mad at Deandra. Deandra's running around town telling everybody she's a drug addict, and with her trying to adopt a baby and everything, she just, well, first of all, you don't want nobody saying you're a drug addict if you're not. But then, with everything else going on with her adopting a baby and everything, like, that could really have cost them a lot more than just some silly rumors. And so, but she shows up. Now, why she had a change of heart, I'm not really sure. I mean, she said that she wants to talk to Deandra, but she realizes that this isn't the time or the place, to address their serious problems. But she still pulls her aside. And Deandra is like, look, for some reason you just don't like me, and I don't know why. Now, Deandra, did you forget you told everybody that her ass is out here taking drugs? I don't know. But she was like, for some reason you just don't like me, but I really would like for us to be friends. And Brandy was like, no, that's not it. She was like, I never had a problem with you until now. She said, but let's talk about it later. Like, let's set up a time and place to really sit down and hash it out. And the girls are sort of hovering because Leanne is like, I think this is going to turn into a scene, and this is her party. And, you know how Leanne can get over, she can react and overreact, really. And Stephanie was like, no, I think they're fine. So they decided they were going to kind of just hover without interrupting, but like stand around just in case it got heated. But it didn't. And I don't think it was going to, because I think Brandy meant what she said, that she didn't come there to cause a problem, but she did want to talk to Deandra later, at a later date. I believe that. I believe that 100%. Okay, so then Stephanie ass is drunk off her damn rocker. Stephanie drunk as hell. Stephanie can barely walk in them damn heels. She's so drunk. I mean, she is stumbling and talking and giggling. I mean, she is drunk, wasted. She tried to climb up on they got these big old lions out there. She climbed up on the lion. Everybody's telling her, no, 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 get down, because her ass, damn, she can't stand up on flat surface. You're going to climb up in your stilettos? Honey. But they got her home. And the next day, she was feeling it. She was talking about how she had this huge hangover. And, oh, my gosh, she was like, I'm feeling it. But we see her house. If you saw last season, her husband went out and bought this house without consulting her. On one hand, he didn't consult her, but on the other hand, it was like she wanted to move closer. They lived like way in the outskirts of Dallas, and she wanted to move closer, and they had discussed moving closer. They just hadn't discussed this house. You know what I'm saying? He just went out and bought the house. And I want to say the house was like $5 million, but the house had a pool in the middle of the living room. I'll say that one more time. You walked in the front door and there was a pool. Not a pond, like a pool, like you could get in and swim pool in the living room. So she sort of acquiesced on him buying this house if he agreed to the renovations that she wanted. And she said she put like $1.5 million worth of renovations into the house. They got rid of the pool, which that was probably the bulk of them daggone renovations that they had to get that pool out of there. But they got rid of the pool. They expanded her master bedroom. They put in a spa type bathroom, with the sit down shower and the double shower head and all of that, and the nice sunken in tub and everything. A gym, and then her husband collects vintage cars, so he's got like this huge, probably like 5 or 6 car garage where he can have his vintage cars in there. It's a beautiful home. I mean, they showed it is gorgeous. The chandeliers that she has are just, I mean, when you first come in, it's a gorgeous home. And I mean, I ain't mad. Look, if you can afford to buy a $5 million house and then do a $1.5 million worth of renovations to the house, I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you at all. And it's a beautiful home. But what we see that Stephanie is planning a baby shower for Brandy, but it's a surprise, not to Brandy, obviously. Brandy knows about the party. It's a surprise to everyone else because nobody knows Brandy adopted this baby except for Brandy's immediate family, and then the only person out the group that they told is Carrie. Nobody else knows about the baby, so they're calling it. His name is Bruin, so they're calling it Bubbles and Brew or something like that, and so. It's really cute. They're going, she's got her party planner, the same lady she used for her Halloween party last year, which was a really nice Halloween party. So it looks like they're going to have a really, really nice event. She said, my house isn't quite where I want it, but I think it's far enough along for me to have a party, which I don't know what else she got to do, honey, but that house is everything. Okay. Then we got this mess. It's this mess with Leanne and her mother. Her mother's a trip. Do you hear me? So we saw in the first episode where her mother spent the whole damn party talking shit. Her mother talked pure D shit about her the whole party. But then we found out she already let us know that her mother reneged on handing over the business to her. That she's still coming in, doing the day to day, being a problem, her mother's biggest problem is she wants to keep doing business the way she's always done business. She doesn't want to change anything. She doesn't want to update any packaging. She doesn't want to change any of the branding. She doesn't want to try any new. They're in a natural beauty company where they do a lot of like the facial stuff and like elixirs and that type of stuff. But it's natural. It's a lot of natural things instead of a lot of chemicals. And the company is 25 years old. Well, everybody has to rebrand at some point. Even Mary Kay, like you think about Mary Kay, it's pink. That's the Mary Kay brand with her signature with the gold Mary Kay. But even Mary Kay has rebranded their packaging. It's got pink, but it doesn't look the same as it did 50 years ago. Like you have to change it. You have to stay updated. You have to constantly, especially in the business of beauty. There's always new stuff coming out. There's always new people being rivals and trying to dethrone you. Like it's always these things going on. So anyway, Deandra said that her and her mother are at a point where they're not even speaking at this point. Like they go into the office and they just sort of just coexist. So we see this meeting between Deandra saying, "Look, I had to talk to my mother. Like we have to make some decisions. I have to talk to her. This is just ridiculous at this point." So Deandra is explaining to her mother about rebranding. You know, how they have to rebrand and they have to do something different. And her mother's like, "Well, yeah, we're not going to do that." And Deandra's like, "Why? What are you talking about? Why?" She said, "Because we're not going to do that. I know what's best for this company, and when I feel like people are making mistakes, I'm going to speak up. I've been running this company. I know what's best. I know we're making a mistake. We're not rebranding. We're not going to change anything. We're not going to do anything different. This is it." And Deandra's like, "Look, you said you were turning this company over to me, and you've done that." She was like, "Yeah, but when I feel like you're making a mistake, I'm not going to allow that to happen." And they proceeded to get into this really nasty conversation. And her mother was talking about how, she starts talking about, you know, a lot of times when children are only children, they become very jealous of the other. And, especially mothers and daughters, they can become very jealous of each other. And Leandra's like, I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous of you. She's like, especially, we're both very beautiful women and, we're both. And Deandra was like, but I'm not. Like, she's like, she is totally puzzled. Like, the look on her face is like, I don't know what you talk. I have no idea what you're talking about right now. Like, I don't. How we go from rebranding to me being jealous of you, and then I keep wanting to call her Leandra. Is it Leandra? I have a friend named Leandra, so I'm wondering if I'm getting that mixed up. Anyway, but she goes on to talk about how she was like, what is there for me to be jealous of? She was like, I'm 28 years younger than her. I'm married. And when I talk, my face moves. I said, oh, shit. I mean, because her mama Botox all up in here. All, ooh, 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 you know what I mean? And it's hilarious because it's like, yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from. And then, Deandra was like, you know what, maybe I'm just going to have to separate my company from yours. Because Deandra actually did start her own company, but she started it under her mother's umbrella. So her mother technically owns the company, but it was, I'm sure somebody with a legal mind understands what it is. It's like when a record company, when you hear these artists getting their record deals, it's under the umbrella of like Arista or Sony or whatever, but they have their own like distribution type deal, like Shady Records or whatever. Like it's under another umbrella. And so I think that's kind of what it is, that she started this company under another umbrella, but it's really her mother's company. So she was saying, I'm just going to get an attorney so we can separate that. And her mother was like, I think that's a great idea. That's fine. And then come to find out, her mother controls all of her money. Her father left her, we found out in last season that her father left her a pretty significant inheritance when he passed away. And I understand her mother controlling it when she was younger. I could even understand her mother maybe having control over it until she graduated from college, right? Like, most 20-year-olds don't know what to do with multi-millions at 20 years old. I know I would have blew it. If I inherited $20 million on my 20th birthday, I don't know if it was $20 million, but it probably would be gone by now if somebody wasn't there to make sure that I saved and invested or whatever. So maybe I can even see that. But she is like in her late 30s at this point, I believe. Let me see. Her mother is 77. She's like in her late 30s, maybe even early 40s at this point. If I really did the math, I ain't got time to do all that. But if I really did the math, she is significantly old enough to be in control of her own damn money. And I don't even understand how legally her mother still even has control over her money. Like, again, don't know what was in the will, don't know how the will was written, don't know what types of legal maneuvers her mother has made over the years. But what I don't understand is how the fuck are you grown and your mama still got control of your inheritance that your father left you 20 years ago. But anyway, she was just, so that looks like that's going to turn out, that's going to be ugly, that her and her mother are going to really have some sort of showdown. So then we see Leanne. Leanne has some good stuff going on. She actually had a vision of she calls it her infinity dress, and it's a great twist on the little black dress. Remember that they've always say that a woman should have a little black dress in her three things I was told that woman should always have: a black suit, a blue suit, and a little black dress, a little black cocktail dress that you could just wear for all occasions, right? Well, Leanne has envisioned this black dress with two or three accessories to it that when they're changed around, they could be changed in so many different ways that you could wear the same dress. I think they came up with 38 different variations of the dress with just as it's a couple of attachments. One is sleeves, one is to put a little tail at the bottom, one is to give it a collar or a shawl, and it really looked cute. It really was a cute black dress. I would say it would look cute on a woman up to maybe a size 12, 14, right? So that covers a large demographic. And then those accessories are so cute. Like, it was cute. It really was cute. And Leanne got a friend of hers who's a stylist to help her really plan out, like, I guess, draw it all out, get it from her head onto a sketch pad. And then she looks like she's working with a boutique, someone who, like a seamstress to actually put it together. And if she can actually find somebody that, she says she sees her selling it on like a QVC type network, I could absolutely see that dress being sold on QVC. I really could. So I thought it was cute. I thought it was a cute little dress. We see where Stephanie is with her family, and Stephanie comes from a very religious, holiness, Pentecostal type background. She said she grew up, with people talking in tongues and things of that nature. And she said, she had her family come down to just pray over the house. She said that, they've moved in, they've done all these renovations, but she still just didn't feel like something was right. She didn't feel like it was her house. And so she had her family, they prayed over the house. And then her and her mother had a conversation about the suicide. She was telling her mom that she opened up to Leanne about her attempted suicide, and they sort of had a moment about that. Her mother was just like, I was just so, basically so upset, that you would want, what could be so bad that you would feel like it's better, for you to no longer be here, which is what a lot of people struggle with when you have someone around you that attempts suicide or even is successful. That you think, well, what in the world could have been going on for them to feel like their life was that bad? It's really a lot. It's really a lot. So then we see that Carrie and her husband, they are renovating their home, and as a result of the renovations that they're doing to their home, they've moved out, and they've moved in with her. Her parents have a home in, what did they say it was? I want to say they said Palm. I think her parents are in their Palm Springs home for the summer or something like that. So they've moved into her parents' house for the time being while they're getting the renovations done on their house. So that's kind of what's going on with them. We see that, her parents are like control freaks, neat freaks, and she's worried about, moving anything, breaking anything, and of course they end up breaking a plate. And her husband tells her, well, I kind of know where you got it from because you're kind of like that too. And she was like, really? You feel like I'm a little OCD? And he was like, yeah, I feel like you're a lot OCD. And so she sort of had a little self-reflective moment, so to speak. All right. Last but not least, we get to the party. The surprise baby shower, so to speak. And so, Stephanie had asked Brandy about inviting all the girls. And at first, Brandy was sort of hesitant. And Stephanie was like, you know what? I think you should invite everybody. You don't want people to feel slighted. If they choose not to come, that's on them. But this is such a special announcement that we're making. This is something so great that we're letting everybody know what's going on. I think you should invite everyone and just give everybody the opportunity to share this. And so Brandy's like, okay, cool. She's like, I'll let them. That's cool. So we have all the girls are there. Let me tell you something. That daggone Cameron is prompt. She's always first one at a party now. I tell you that. She don't play. She is prompt. And, of course, she got there. And once she got there, Brandy and Stephanie were already upstairs. They're hiding Brandy and the family until they're ready to make the big announcement. So they're upstairs. And Stephanie was upstairs with them, just helping them get settled in and everything. And so, of course, Cameron was like, it's proper etiquette. that when someone comes to your home that you're there to greet them. I'm like, Cameron, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere and drink some of that free damn champagne. I mean, she not wrong, but at the same time, girl, go on somewhere. But what's funny is Cameron actually figures out what it is. Cameron figures out. Now, she doesn't think that Brandy already has a baby. She thinks that they're calling all them together to let everybody know that Brandy's pregnant. And Stephanie is like, oh shit, she done figured it out. So Stephanie lies and says it's really her, that they've gotten a surrogate, and they're there to announce the fact that they're having another baby to try to throw Cameron off the track. And it works. Cameron's like, oh, so it's you. But she knew somebody had a daggone baby. She was smart. Cameron, she was very inquisitive and picked up on the context clues and was like, somebody having a baby. This is a baby shower. Something going on around here. And then Carrie walks in and actually has a gift, because remember, Carrie actually knows that there's a baby. And Cameron is kind of looking like, oh, she already knew. And Stephanie has to play it off like, oh, yeah, she knew. We told her, So they go ahead and make the announcement. And, of course, Brandy and the family come down the steps. And everybody is like, oh, you're not announcing you're pregnant. You already got the baby, So it was really cute. It was really really a nice event. They said that the party, and Stephanie ended up spending $22,000 on that party. Now let me tell y'all something. I hope I have a friend one day that loves me that much, because she threw that party for Brandy. Let me tell you something. Brandy and Stephanie are really friends. Last season, when they had fallen out, they both were hurting behind that. They were both hurt. And when they made it, like, they are friends. They are really friends. And that's a friend. $22,000. I couldn't even get that one out. $22,000. I just hope I have me a friend like that. But anyway, y'all, that was episode 2 of Real Housewives of Dallas. So we got episode 3 coming up this week. And we'll see the girls are going their first little vacation. So we're going to see how that... Y'all know it's always some shit when they go out of town. These girls, now, all the Real Housewives shows take these out-of-town trips. But these girls, when they go out of town, they be knives and shit and threatening to kill each other. They gets down. So we're gonna see how this works out. All right, you guys, have a great evening. Talk to you later. Peace.